Good morning, everyone. Wanted to give a quick day 3 update on coffee habits and breaking habits in general. I actually missed a couple days just because I couldn't find the time to record, but nothing huge has changed between the last time I spoke with you and now. But did want to give a couple quick, interesting updates. So I got my morning cup here. Couple things that I forgot and additional considerations to mention. The sipping motion is definitely being satisfied with that second cup in the Yeti, although I'm going to have to change the powder or the substance that I'm consuming for the second half. The powder that I showed you guys is actually too strong. It definitely gives quite a boost. So splitting a teaspoon of that plus half my morning cup of coffee is actually a little too much stimulation. So I'm gonna swap to a herbal tea and probably something cacao-y, maca-y that still has to give that rich flavor. The other thing that I wanted to mention is I drink coffee black, but most people probably don't. And for anyone who likes cream, sugar in their coffee, you're gonna have to match that creaminess and satisfy all those sensory perceptions. So if you're used to putting sugar or cream in your coffee, definitely you can still put cream. If you're trying to get away from sugar, especially white processed sugar, maple syrup or honey or stevia work. Not a huge fan of maple syrup just because it's pure sugar. Honey's got some other properties to it, at least, that mitigate the glucose, the insulin effect of glucose. And stevia's got some mixed research on it. It depends which revision of stevia you have. The cheap one is usually not the best for you, but whatever it takes for you to stop implementing that second or that habit. If it makes the habit process forming effective for you, go for it. The next thing I wanted to go over with you is a good meta-analysis I found on further strategies for goal intentions. So we went over the S.M.A.R.T structure previously, and that specifies parameters around your goal and how you will know your goal is satisfied. The next thing I found doing some digging were implementation intentions. And these seem to be pretty robust, meaning everyone in the goal setting space likes these. And I will start using these as well, given what I found. But the basic premise of this is, if you just say, I am going to make this goal change. So for me, it would be, I am just going to cut my intake of coffee down in half in a week's time by doing these processes. It's not super effective. You do put that in your brain for it to start working on, but more effective would be to give yourself an if-then statement and a very specific series of instructions that you will follow. So that would function as, if I get a craving for coffee in the morning, I will put half of that cup in my Yeti and store it for later and only drink that first half in the morning. You have to give your brain hyper-specific directions to follow whenever that cue shows up in your brain, so that it can start forming different neurological pathways. And what they found here, the study or the authors were Goldwitzer and Sheeran et al. And it was a meta-analysis of it's like 92 different studies. And they found significant success for the implementation intention strategy groups proposed with control groups, and that was at least a 50% gain over success. Some were 87, but 50%. And I'll highlight the most useful links for you, but it was, you want your brain to form that different neurological pathway. You want to have another option for it, so you don't just don't just continually go down that ingrained pattern that's been there for probably years. And that's probably where the 21 days comes from. It does take 21 days for you to start forming an additional neurological pathway, but it takes 21 days just for your brain to present you with the option, meaning after 3 weeks of consistently trying to build a different habit, your brain no longer automatically decides for you. It doesn't say morning coffee. It will say morning, make a choice. And then if you don't think about your new habit, it'll divert back to the old one. But your executive brain will pause for a minute and give you the choice of which path you want. And then if you regularly choose the new habit you're forming, so for me that would just be only half, and then the afternoon the other half with some tea. If you continue to do that over 3 weeks, it'll start to favor that other pathway. So it probably takes double the time to build a new one, but to break that automatic grip on you to go with your ingrained old habit, 21 days is still the benchmark. So I just wanted to go over that briefly with you today. We'll find more studies on different, more specific ways that'll help you. But until then, talk to you next time.